Oh, good morning, Wichita and surrounding areas. It's January 19th, 11 a.m. I'm Lieutenant Scott Bruno with the Wichita Police Department, and this is the Police Department's episode of Crimecast. We are broadcasting to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Get real-time crime numbers, information out on hotspots and crime trends that we're seeing, hopefully to make Wichita safer and make you safer as well. Joining me today is one of our public information officers, Charlie Davidson. Charlie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, Wichita. Appreciate everyone being here on January the 19th. And I'm surprised the lieutenant didn't say this. First things first. Go Chiefs. Yeah?
Let's see what's going to happen there with Mahomes.
I think he'll be all right. I hope. We hope he's all right. Get back and we'll see how they do.
Yep, and good luck to him for sure. Let's see. We've got some information on burglaries or larcenies to autos and auto thefts again. Pretty quiet, though, coming in. Everybody was off work yesterday. So got everything together this morning. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask in the comments. Charlie usually does a pretty good job of watching them. And let's just get into our PowerPoint. Like to get the business out of the way first. And I can't see the comments while I'm showing the PowerPoint, so that's when I trust Charlie's usually doing a good job in there, addressing some of them. Then he'll hold some for me if anything comes up that's pressing. Larceny to autos, if you're looking year to date, we're up 14%. That's the numbers over here on the right-hand side of your graph. 348 larceny to autos so far this year, compared to 304 from last year. A large part of that number is our increase in catalytic converter thefts. So they're up enough that we see that bump, and that's considered a larceny to auto, those catalytic converters being cut off. So over on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see our week to week, which is the last 7 days compared to the 7 days before that. We're up 2%. And then 28-day period is in the middle of the graph. We're down 12% in the last 28 days compared to the 28 days prior to that. Looking at a hotspot here, the last 28 days for larceny to autos, area of Kellogg and 135 to the south and the east. From there a little bit, you see a pretty good hotspot north of Lincoln, east of Grove. And then you kind of see those just kind of scattered out a little bit more going back to the west and north and west of Kellogg and 135 as well, heading towards our downtown and Old Town area. Kellogg and Rock Road in the area of Town East. This is a continuing hotspot. We're still seeing cars broken into this area of Town East up here on the northwest corner of Rock and Kellogg and extending to the south of Kellogg into the neighborhood and then back to the east there as well. We did have some neighbors with Ring or Nest surveillance cameras, and this is a good reason to have them right here. This is pulled from their surveillance cameras of their driveways. This is in the area of 119th West and Pawnee, so south of Kellogg. But we had this individual was going around the neighborhood last week trying to get into cars and breaking into cars. We can tell he's wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jacket and what looks like probably plaid pants or pajama bottoms possibly. So keep your eyes open in that area. Again, Pawnee and 119th West. And keep your cars locked, keep valuables out of your cars, and do what you can to prevent larcenies to auto from occurring in that area. Our auto thefts year to date, we're up 82%. Slightly off of last week's numbers where we were up 84% year to date, but still a tremendous increase in our auto thefts, 155 year to date compared to 49 at this time last year. And then probably that little bit of that 2% decrease year to date is right here in the last 7 days. We saw an 8% decrease. 65 auto thefts last week compared to 71 the week prior to that. Auto theft hotspot in the area of Central and Ridge, continuing along Ridge, really between Central and Maple. that's out on the west side of town. You can see several auto thefts in this area, right in the middle between Central and Maple. There's several apartment complexes and a lot of residential neighborhoods in that area. So area of Central and Ridge down to Maple, auto theft hotspot. And that's the last 28 days as well. Another auto theft hotspot you can see here. This is actually, it's not labeled real good. Up on the north end up here, this hotspot is along 13th Street. And this is I-135 over here. And then running about through the middle in here where this other hotspot is Central. So almost the downtown area. Here you can see the river running through where it is. And really auto thefts just kind of scattered around up in there. We see a great number of cars with the keys left in them, cars that are left running. We have a small amount of repeat offenders committing auto thefts. So do what you can there as well. Keep your cars locked. Keep your keys out of your cars. Don't leave your key fobs in there either, and don't leave your cars running. Auto theft recoveries along Kellogg and just to the south, and actually right along Kellogg, north side and south side of Kellogg, out on the west side of town, along Meridian and McCormick Avenue, extending to the east of Seneca, and then even to the south along Seneca there, down by Harry Street, we see a little bit of a hot spot. And these are auto theft recoveries. This is where we are finding recovered stolen cars. Our residential burglaries year to date over here on the right-hand side of the screen, we are sitting at 0%, 63 this year compared to 63 last year. The last 7 days, though, we do see a pretty good uptick over here on the left-hand side of your screen, a 57% increase in residential burglaries compared to the week prior to that. 33 burglaries compared to 21 burglaries in the prior week. And then month to month, or the last 28 days compared to the 28 days prior to that, in the middle of the graph here is we're up 7% on our residential burglaries, 114 compared to 107. Residential burglary hotspot, and this is over the last 28 days, but you're looking at Harry and Oliver here to the south and to the east. A lot of duplexes in this area, some apartments, and a lot of people just coming together. So do what you can during the daytime there, and keep your eyes open on your neighbors, watch your neighborhood, know what's suspicious and what isn't, and don't be afraid to call 911. Another residential burglary hotspot, last 28 days, we had several burglaries. This is 21st Street, so up to the north and Amadon area, and over here on the left is 235. So just to the north and the east of 235 and 21st Street, we've had a 1, 2, 3, looks like 5 residential burglaries occurred in that area, just south of 25th Street. And that's it for the PowerPoint. And Charlie?
Yeah, looks like we got a few questions here. This one about Ron. You know, we've been talking about catalytic converter thefts, and they've been up. They were up substantially last year. We continue to still see them being a problem, thefts of catalytic converters. So Ron asked here, what's being done to try to identify these individuals who are cutting off these converters, and also those buying them, and perhaps making arrests and prosecuting these cases?
Yeah, the police department, we have started an education and enforcement initiative with our local scrap dealers. We're always trying to catch them in the act. The problem is it takes a minute for it to happen. I did see a couple of cases over the weekend, or at least one case where a neighbor saw an individual underneath a car, believed to be cutting the catalytic converter off, chased the person off. However, the suspect did not get the catalytic converter removed, but did get part of it cut off of the car. So some damages were incurred, but he prevented the theft of the catalytic converter. So like I say, keep your eyes open, watch for people under cars. It happens real quick. We're always trying to catch them. And then with our scrap metal dealers, you got to keep in mind a lot of this, they're operating by the letters of the law. They're doing what they have to do, tracking people, asking for ID. So it's finding the ones that aren't doing that. And efforts are enacted right now. We're trying to do what we can and get a limit on some of that that's occurring unlawfully. Some of these are lawful transactions. You do have auto shops, car lots and stuff that do repairs on cars, they legally have these catalytic converters and have to take them places. There's a lot of, small auto shops doing it as well. So it's sourcing out the legal transactions from the illegal transactions and just catching them when they occur. So we are trying to step up our efforts there, and hopefully that pans out and decreases these in the future.
Yeah, and a lot of these LT we rely, I should say, on our community partnerships. That's why we work so diligently. Our community policing officers work so diligently to form relationships with the community, because community sometimes is our eyes and ears as a law enforcement agency. So I have information at the bottom of the screen, crime link, wpd@outlook.com, or you can contact our investigators, 268-4407, and they can take information. If you happen to have information about maybe a catalytic converter theft, maybe another type of theft, or any case that you may have information on, you can provide it to us. You can either email it at crimelink.wpd@outlook.com, or you can call again, 268-4407, down on the bottom of the screen. Appreciate the question, Ron. Kaylee here asking about COVID and thefts going up, car thefts. Do you think COVID had anything to do with car thefts and the increase we're seeing? What do you think, LT?
I don't know if it's had a role on auto thefts. Well, I would change that up. Yeah, I mean, we've seen the jail, because of their COVID precautions, they're not holding as many people. The courts were closed down for a while. Our DA's office was closed down. Those are getting fired back up. So we've seen probably an increase. I don't know what the numbers or the percentages would be. There's probably a small amount of it because of that, and that's leading to some of those repeat offenders. And the same with just larcenies in general, because everybody's wearing masks. It's hard to identify people, especially in stores, with loss prevention cameras and items like that. If they're not caught, right in the act, it's hard to identify people because of masks. So COVID does hamper, some of those enforcement efforts.
All right, appreciate that. Ashley here, looks like she sent me some information about her case, just asking where we're at on her case. I said I'd look into it. Ashley, I got your case number here. I will look at it. I just haven't had a chance while we're here, Facebook Live. But she said her door was locked and somebody had broken out the window, which does happen. That's why we always encourage everybody, if you have something in your vehicle, to keep it out of plain view. I'm not saying you did or did not do that, but sometimes somebody might have their vehicle locked and a window might be broken because of the fact that something was in plain view. So we're always asking individuals to make sure that you keep things out of sight, in trunk or glove compartment. If you can't keep it with you, if you can't take something with you. You want to add anything to that, LT?
No, I was thinking of another question I saw pop up here. Oh, wait here.
Need to unmute myself. I had a question pop up here I was looking at from Tiffany. She had a package stolen from their porch on 1/9 and still haven't had a detective assigned to my case. How long does that normally take? I sent in the video and all the information I had. Tiffany, there's roughly 20,000 larcenies will occur in Wichita each year, and there's 4 detectives right now in that section. Not every case gets assigned. If you want to follow up on it, call 268-4646. Is that a good number, Charlie? Is that I think that's the front desk at Investigations.
Or the 4407 number. We'll get to the same. The number on the ticker.
Yeah. But not every case is just going to get assigned right away. Don't be afraid to call to follow up on it and say, hey, this is what happened. Here's my case number. Can you check into it for me? So, and a lot of times until that happens, no one may contact you.
Yeah. And looks like Keena had a similar question. Their car was shot, it said, and they hadn't had a detective assigned to it. Again, like the lieutenant was saying, we have that information. Always, if you want to know where the status of your case is, Keena, call that number, 268-4407. And you can speak to our investigators. At the initial time of the report, there may not be any information that would allow us, or not allow us, would have us assign that case out. However, as we continue to investigate other incidents or other things come up, it may change. I mean, those cases can always be assigned out at any certain time. to look into further if we perhaps get further information. So if you happen to have further information on that case, or you want to know the status of your case, call that number 268-4407, and they can talk to you a little bit further about your case specifically. Looks like somebody said, where is it? Oh, 9th and Oliver here. Rachel Settle was talking about 3 people at night on 9th and Oliver. They have flashlights going through trash and going through people's yards. I'd say if you see something and you believe it's suspicious, call 911. Have officers respond, and they can check into that further. If these individuals need some assistance, we have resources available. We have numerous resources we can reach out to and provide them assistance. So please don't hesitate to give us a call if you're in that situation and you feel that you need to make that phone call.
Yeah, and I would just add, call when it's going on, when it's in progress, when you see the people. Don't wait till the next day and then call it in. Just because we won't have they're gone from the area, we're not going to be able to find them, to identify them, locate them, anything like that. So when you see activity like that, if you think it's suspicious and they're up to something illegal, then call 911 and tell them what you're seeing. Then we'll get officers out. If officers are available, we'll get out there as soon as we can and investigate.
All right. Looks like Keena's also talking about cars broken in. That was the night she was the one that asked about the car being shot. It looks like they had their cars broken in too. Maybe they had some videos. I know many times we will send out pictures of these videos of individuals to our officers to see if we can try to identify who that is, in hopes that we can try to identify them. I don't know the case number. Keena, you can always email it to me at cdavidson@wichita.gov, or you can call 268-4407, and I can find out. I can contact the sergeant or one of the investigators to let you know where they're at, and where they're at in that case. But like I said, we do post these to our police officers. We have roughly 700 commissioned police officers. We do distribute those amongst our police officers to see if perhaps they've worked a case or know of somebody that might be involved in that case, as we're continuing to try to identify these individuals involved.
Did you want to introduce Trevor?
Yes. We got new Crime Stoppers coordinator. Where Trevor, is he going to come in here? I'm going to put my mask on. Oh, Trevor Macy, he's our new Crime Stoppers coordinator. Officer Kevin Wheeler has been with the Crime Stoppers coordinator position and PIO. Come on over here, Trevor, for a couple of years. He just got promoted, so congratulations to Kevin Wheeler, Detective Kevin Wheeler. And this is Officer Trevor Macy. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here. Excited to get started. Lots of learning to be done, lots of work to be done, but I'm excited to hit the ground running, and hopefully you guys be seeing a lot more of me.
Yes, of course. All right. Well, we're excited to have Trevor. Trevor actually had some experience as a reporter at Channel 12 for several years, and then has been employed here with us for a couple of years, and now joining the Wichita Police Department Public Information Unit. I think your skills will be an asset. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, glad to be here.
All right. Appreciate it. That's Trevor Macy, newest member of our the Wichita Police Department Public Information Unit.
I was hoping I wasn't going to have to tell you what your job was there, Charlie.
Sometimes I don't know.
So there are 3 of you. You've had you and Paul Cruz, and then Kevin Wheeler has been the 3 public information officers.
Yes.
And so Kevin Wheeler got promoted to detective. Congratulations, like you said. And then Trevor Macy will be taking his spot. So get him up to speed so people can be seeing more of you, Paul, or Trevor.
Yes. Kevin will be here a couple more weeks. He's going to be doing some training with Trevor as Trevor transitions to learn about the Crime Stoppers program and learns a little bit how things operate here in the Public Information Office. But again, sad to see Kevin go, but congrats on his promotion, and glad to see Trevor on board.
And as soon as we can, we'll let you see Trevor's face without the mask on, so you can identify him. But just COVID protocols and stuff. Anytime the police department, even in City Hall, and officers out on the street, we're wearing masks. We have been for a long time. We're getting in anytime we're within 6 feet to anybody, or even in an enclosed office, we're going to wear masks.
Yep,
So
exactly.
believe me, I'd like to see that start. Hopefully we start transitioning out of that soon. But I don't know, the way the numbers are still going, it could be a while before we see the end in sight. I think that's about it. I don't think I had anything else.
No, that's most of the questions. Everybody giving congrats. So that's all I've got for the day.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody that tuned in. This is wrapping up Crimecast on Tuesday, January 19th. We'll see you next Tuesday, January 26th at 11 a.m. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.